Good afternoon, everyone. As it just turned from 135 to 36, which is going from the Wounded Warrior's path to Atlas with the weight of the world upon their shoulders, and the one of the Magician embodiment. And today is March 7th, 2022. The 7 is the Chariot. The day adds up to the Tower, the 16. So yeah, lots of epiphanies for me. This Metatron read you have to listen to. It's amazing. I'm really excited to bring it to you. The channeled messages coming through just are like they've never been before. And they always get really strong around mid-February, and then again as we build up into March for the equinox. But yeah, this one's a doozy. And yeah, so I'm going to get started. I was just going to say something, but it's in the read, so we'll get there when we get there. And let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Another deep breath. And one more deep breath. I love you. You are healed. Sending lots of love and blessings out to you guys. I hope you're having an amazing day. And thank you for joining me. I think it was sunny out a little bit today. It's not very sunny right now. And it got really windy there for a bit. It was a little bit strange, the noises this morning. And then there was a mixture of energies of people laughing, and then other weird energies, and then the wind got really strong. And then there was messages that came into the read. So yeah, it's kind of intense energy. I had a bit of a purge last night. Probably lasted for about a half an hour, but I haven't had one like that in a while. And I did a couple sessions with Vivian Chauvet recently, so I'm sure that helped bring some of that up. And then I did I did some time with Chris Macklin this morning, which always makes me feel better. So check him out if you've never tried doing his clearings before. He's a wonderful man. And let's see here. So again, March 7th today. The 3 of the Empress, the 7 of the Chariot, and the day being the Tower of the 16, which the 16 is all about sudden events, good and bad, and also the epiphanies and that sexual exchange or that quantum energy exchange of the twin flame energy. I was also getting a download about the spoon I use because I've been stirring my water because it's supposed to reorganize the molecules, and again about what your spoons are made of and what you use for your water and your food. And you know, you don't want to use like aluminum or mercury type things, obviously. So it was interesting. I woke up at 8:08 this morning, and then I got up at 9 o'clock, and then 9 o'clock on the dot significant in the read as well, so remember that I said that. At 9:30, which is the Hermit and the Union, that's when the Metatron read was cut and dealt. And I'm going to show you, I actually have 2 Metatron reads, a message of the day and the main read on the table. We'll see if we get to all that today. Here is the read from today, which I'm going to do first. Okay, that's, for those of you not familiar, this Metatron deck read, this is the underlying energy, the bottom of the deck, and they use 3 down. I start here with the first card on the top, here, going 3 over, all the way down to here, 12 cards, and then 3 here, and then whatever comes out extra here, up to, usually it's a 21 card read, up to this card here. But this, sometimes it's 23, 4, 5 cards, but today it was a 22 card read, which is the Fool's Journey, and then all this addendum right here, which ended up being 33 cards altogether, which I never use that many cards. But obviously it was significant today, and definitely significant regarding the Christ consciousness. So let's get right into that because it's really significant today, as they've all been recently. I hope you watch them all through because in the beginning it's a little piecey, but then once I get going, there's some really smooth rolls there. All right. So let's roll the die for the twin flames today. That's March 7th, 2022. And here we have the North Node, which just came up at the end of the read. The North Node is in Taurus. We have the 3 again of the Empress in Taurus. And 3 is about happiness and joy and coming together. And then Scorpio, which is in the South Node. So how perfect. We have the Scorpio-Taurus axis of the North and South Node today. And the 3 in the middle there. Between the North Node and Scorpio. So again, following that Taurus energy this year, the nodes are about 1.5 years long, and then letting go of the Scorpio energies that no longer serve you. And reflecting that energy, which, you know, is really deep, which is probably why I purged last night, because Scorpio goes really deep. It's naturally a very deep sign, and it really looks at the dark sides of things, and violence and war and all that stuff is coming up in the collective for us to deal with. So this Metatron read done at 9:30. The bottom of the deck card was the Indigo card, which is the 21, which is completion, the world, the divine feminine, Pisces energy for me. And the first card out was the healing card of the 43 and coming together. It's the 3 of Cups in joy. So we had color-wise, not just the indigo, but blue as well, which is more like the throat chakra in this deck, even though it's a darker blue. It's not quite as purple as the indigo in this deck. The yellow of the solar plexus, the orange of the sacral chakra. And then in the after PS kind of area, we had lilac and red and pink. So a lot of, red has to do with our root chakra and safety and security and those root issues which are coming up because of the war in the collective. And then the pink and lilac, which are so much of the higher consciousness and compassion and the message. So the orange and yellow of the sacral and the solar plexus, and then the blue to the indigo of the throat and the third eye chakra, very significant today. And remember that the most of our clearing comes from the lower 3 chakras. The ego sets in the yellow solar plexus chakra because we are humans. And that's where, remember, we always get butterflies in the solar plexus, which came up the other day. I don't know if that came up in a read that I'm doing today, but I'm just getting butterfly, and butterflies are free to fly, fly away, fly high away, bye bye. So that's coming up now. The orange to yellow of the creative energy to the confident, shining your light, and then the blue of speaking your truth into the indigo of your knowing in your third eye. As far as the elements that came up, we have air. And was there anything else here? Nope, just air. The air that we breathe. All I need is the air that I breathe. So that song's coming up as well. And so let's get into this. I start the underlying energy. It was 942, which is the Hermit and the 42 of the 2 of Cups. A long road. It's a long, long road. So definitely that long and winding road was coming up here. And that was just coming up now. Setting boundaries daily of patience and balance off the beaten path, one step at a time, in waves of grain of gold. Transforming the chaos into order. Slammed with light. Remember, the opposite of chaos is death, because chaos is life, right? The way you're born is chaos, right? Until we are at peace, at total peace, which is death. Until now. And then I was getting stuff about my mom and dad. And my mom was coming up. They've both passed. My father passed in 2016, and my mom passed January last year. My mother was coming up as more of the father, the heavy-handedness, but also the savior and the perpetrator, and yet open-minded. So there's always a mix, right? And then my dad was more like not present, right? Because he worked a lot. But he was more neutral, but at the same time, he was less open-minded. So when the only choice of chaos, when you only have that choice of chaos or death, which is why people kill themselves, because they want to end the chaos and they can't. At 9:49, which is the Hermit and the 49 of the Nine of Cups, which is that get your wish card or self-satisfaction, learning to be happy with oneself. When the only choice is of chaos or death, one chooses death and peace, a way out of the chaos that they haven't been able to organize or align. But remember now, we don't need to die to go to that other place. The indigo of mystery and mastery of life and chaos. At 9:54, the Hermit and the Page of Swords, disconnecting from the outer world but without dying. This is ascension, holding the light without freaking out. And again, like I said, not only did I purge last night, but I felt it coming the last couple days. There was no sun outside. It was really dark. And I was just feeling kind of fine, but like not as happy as usual. And then yesterday I was really feeling it. And I actually said something to my daughter about it, you know, just that I was feeling sad yesterday. And then I knew it was coming because I haven't purged it in a little bit. But I felt it bubbling up. And also that energy of, you know, again, from way back when, and why are you doing this to me, and I hate you all, and that energy of chaos and not being able to align it in some kind of order, right? Gaining some kind of control over your life, when we're really supposed to be learning how to let go of the control. So something that came up here too was under the covers. So you remember, I don't know if they don't do this anymore, but when I was having my Sweet 16, they used to write on a pillowcase or something under the covers after everything you said during your shower. And they were telling me that this is a good practice for you to do. You can't do it when you know you're doing it. You have to kind of like tape a conversation and then take the lines from that conversation and add under the covers to it, because there's going to be some stuff that comes up for you. So that might be a good practice to do, and that's fun as well, because it'll make you laugh, but it's going to bring up some wounds you had forgotten about. So do that. So if you guys try that, please let me know in the comments how you did with that. I actually recently found that pillowcase from my Sweet 16 this year and pulled it out to look at it. And it was kind of funny reading those lines over again. I'm sure it brought something up at the time I did that. So at 9:57, which is the Hermit and the Three of Swords, the first card out was the Healing Hands, of remembering to pause to receive healing, right? So I did my Chris video this morning, but again, it's that energy of perhaps imagining that magnet above your head to pull out all the stuff that no longer serves you, and then perhaps Archangel Sandalphon's hands coming in to then give you healing to replace everything that was just removed that is good for you. And it doesn't have to be Archangel Sandalphon, whoever you resonate with you, or just your higher self, which is all the same thing, really. Ultimately, it's you're the one who's empowered. But we speak about it in other masters and energies and angels, because that's what a lot of the collective relates to. So it's like you have to relate to the things you know until you transcend that, and then you go to the next level. So you have to go through it in order to transcend it. And then, so it doesn't matter what you say or understand today, because you know that tomorrow you will transcend that into something else. So that's kind of the energy regarding channeling and who you're channeling, all that kind of stuff. So until you know your full power and you know that you're the one actually channeling your higher self and your direct connect to source, we always deal with talking about masters and angels outside of ourselves as well, as the ones taking the power, right? The ones actually bringing the message through. So remember that as well. And don't ever shame yourself or punish yourself for falling back and purging or doing or getting triggered, things like that. Know that it's all part of the process in order to transcend those things. So take that time to receive for yourself and that healing. And so then I was thinking to myself, so how am I different from what my parents taught? Because my father is always about balance, to have a well-structured life in that respect. to have exercise and eat the right foods and work and play. But there was no real spiritual time in our schedule because my parents weren't religious. So no one ever teaches you to pray or meditate or anything like that, which could have been something added. But I look at I'm the only one in my family who's actually divorced of 5 children. My sister is actually starting a divorce now, but I look at my siblings and I'm like, yeah, but so what's the difference between this connection I have and these long-term marriages, because we've lived a long life already. And I've asked that before too, because, they deal with each other really well in these long-term relationships. So those are some questions you might want to ask yourself regarding structure and discipline, and regarding exercise and eating well each day, but spiritually being the disciple of self. So discipline literally means disciple of oneself, not of another. But it's not about discipline, which for me specifically, means something difficult to do. Disciple of self means you do what feels good to you at that moment, not because society or someone else outside you tells us it's true for us, because for every person it's slightly different. And I had no spiritual upbringing, right? I wasn't taught to pray, but actually as a little girl, I did lots of praying to the clouds and why God has left me here. I knew at age 7 that I wouldn't be happy until about age 30 when I had my kids. And how would I get from here at age 7 to there in this home, in this place? That's a heavy weight for a 7-year-old to carry. And so I put on weight that year, actually, because I got chubby when I was 8. And then my mother signed me up for gymnastics at age 8 after 2 years of uncontrollable diarrhea after a grave illness for about a week when I was age 6 that was undiagnosed. And yet my twin was born that year when I was 6 at 10:06 on the clock here, which is a turn for the better of the Wheel of Fortune and the 6 of the Lovers. So I was born in Memphis to a father who was in internship, so of course he was working long hours, and my mom with my 2 older brothers only a year apart, who she thought she wanted 12 babies initially, and at her 4th pregnancy, when she got pregnant with my sister, after stopping at 3, well, accidents happen. As she always joked about it, she sneezed and her diaphragm flew across the room. She tried to leave this 3D world that year when I was just 1. Some shock treatment and a move to a new life far away. Another strike, moving a young child to another home, and not only that, but to another time zone after having left a war zone. My sister was born 2 weeks late, with a whole lot of blonde hair, referred to as the milkman's child, and of course the term of endearment was bubble brain with all that blonde hair. She had survived a huge trauma and shock treatment before even out of the womb. Chernobyl and Pearl Harbor and Hitler all at the same time. With a family history of great starvation, exile from power and humiliation, great intelligence, genius, but lacking nurture. So this is my family lineage. And I'm bringing this up because there's so much wounding in my lineage. So I want to share that with you to parallel that to your lineage so you understand where your wounds are coming from and how collective it is right now. So my father's parents were dealing with Hitler, and my mother's parents were both doctors and dealing with my genius uncle and my mom and her brother, who both had very high IQs. And of course they were both doctors, so they had a life of means, and yet little hugs and kisses, despite my pediatrician grandfather, who was well loved as a doctor, who ignored his grandchildren at holiday visits. I didn't know him well at all. I used to hide his cigarettes because I felt like he was ignoring me. Obviously, that's why I hid his cigarettes. And because I hid his cigarettes, he probably didn't like me very much. All I remember about him was his pipe and his feet being up on the couch, the dress-up clothes upstairs, and the sugar cubes, and Yaya, or my grandmother, when will the meringues be ready? Because they were so soft and chewy right out of the oven. They lived in Englewood, New Jersey, So there's the angle, right, of the triangle and the wood of New Jersey. And my mother said her father was the most intelligent man she'd ever known. And her mother raved about Friday discussions with her dad, David Lubin. You can look him up online. He's actually a famous man. That those were her favorite times on Fridays, their discussions. A man who had been a jeweler and then navigated across the country with the Indians, worked with Levi Strauss and the coal miners, invented the flap on the Levi zipper, for the overalls for the coal miners, and opened the first one-price store in the Midwest, and then Weinstock Lubin and Company, which became Weinstock's later after he left his half-brother, which ended up being a department store across the West that I knew nothing about and actually existed until 1980. So I should have known about it, but I didn't. And most of those are where Macy's are today. But he got bored of that and politically was inclined to help the small farmer and had a wife who had an affair with the mayor of Sacramento. He was a militant do-gooder, so you can imagine someone like that of great intelligence whose wife was a socialite and had an affair with the mayor, and how humiliated he must have been. He left and started a new family, which was ours, and then feeding the world, establishing an agricultural institute in Rome, getting the French president to help him convince the Italian king at that time to do this after the king had rejected him, which ultimately was rolled into the United Nations while my father's father, Aaron Kapelovich, was busy helping to make Israel a state. And the Netanyahus babysitting us growing up, they happened to be our neighbors, and my father's mother survived raising her little brother as an orphan in sewing factories. She was at the age of 10 raising her little brother. Her much older brother actually helped them to get to France via Arabian Nights as a seamstress, where she eventually got to Paris, where my dad watched her dress models and in her 60s became an artist. My mom's mom, simply a woman born in 1898 who became a doctor during the war. She was able to practice during the war, but only able to do volunteer work in a man's world afterwards at 1036, which is the wheel and the atlas of the weight of the world. And we always saw her as a worrywart. She had Parkinson's, so she was always shaking, and we would, as kids, we always used to make fun of her, like pouring our milk anyway. She never stopped doing anything. But she used to knock on people's doors to get them to volunteer. They were both very militant do-gooders, very structured, but not huggy-kissy at all. There wasn't any, nurturing love there. So she wasn't allowed to be a doctor in the man's world after the war. And my father's father, who we didn't find out wasn't my biological grandfather until 10 years ago, about therein, when my brother was interviewing him to document his history as an interventional radiologist inventor. Our biological grandfather was a Russian Orthodox, we found this out, our biological grandfather was a Russian Orthodox of a military MD, we believe, exiled with his brother to France for anti-Tsar behavior at that time. He, the grandfather I never knew, became a famous Parkinson's MD, which my father's a doctor, and then after research in Brazil, then back through France and Europe for meetings before he was let back into Russia, living out his years in Saratov. Both he and my grandfather, my non-biological grandfather, passed in their 60s. And my non-biological grandfather lost 7 sisters in the Holocaust. And does that relate you to anything, the 7 sisters and the Pleiadians? Does that sound familiar? But the 7 sisters who passed in the Holocaust wouldn't heed his warnings about leaving Poland when he warned them to. So I guess last night I was purging some violent history of abandonment, rejection, humiliation, betrayal, and justice, those 5 main abandonment wounds. And I was an acronym was coming up for those 5 wounds. First was coming up BRAHJ as the betrayal, the rejection, the abandonment, the humiliation, and justice, which BRAH means, the only word that came up was BRAH without the J, so without the J, for me, that's Jesus. So the friend, brother, or sky without Jesus, or without unity consciousness. which makes sense, right? All that big wounding and death and war and violence. And then another word came up which referenced the underbelly, the bottoms. It started out with the knickers and the breeches, which is funny because when I channeled my sister-in-law's father, the word that he used, because I never used that word, was breeches. So they usually, when they come through me, they use a word that I never use, so I know it's them for sure. So breeches, and which is funny because Chris Macklin always talks about his knickers. So that was coming up, and bikini bottoms, panties, belly beacon, which I've never heard that one before. But again, the underbelly. So where we started this whole reading today was where I had sickness when I was 6 years old that caused diarrhea, and I had to wear diapers and rubber pants till I was on and off until I was about 8 years old. So whether it's diarrhea or vomiting, they're all purges. These are a few of my least favorite things. So then they were guiding me to go through the 5 wounds of betrayal, rejection, abandonment, humiliation, and justice, and break the words down for you. So betrayal came out as the B and the tray, which is support. It's also considered a sled, right? You can sled down a tray on the hill. It's also trouble, annoyance, or anger, or in other words, a trigger. So being a support, betray all, being a support to all. Then rejections was coming up as re-injections, or to throw, discard, rush in. And the liver, which holds anger, to rush in again and again, do the same thing over again, to throw away and discard. And then abandonment, which is abandon and ment, is a disposal, control, license, or jurisdiction. The mind, spirit, intelligence for rescue or save, and a cop comes up there as well. It's literally saying abandonment is a disposal, again, referencing rejections too, because there's a lot of similarities between rejection and abandonment. A disposal or discarding, again, an energy of control of the mind and spirit in order to rescue or save, abandonment. So then humiliate came up, which is really interesting, because one of the words for Hu, H-U, is hoe, which actually means she there. So hoe isn't just like a whore. It literally is a translation for she in Old Norse. So being called a hoe isn't necessarily being called a whore. It's being called she. Very interesting there. Also the exclamation of feeling cold in German, which automatically brought up something for me. I remember so vividly being in, when I was working at a restaurant when I was in my 20s, of having to be at the restaurant when everybody was gone and waiting for someone to leave, and it was freezing in there. I had no coat, and the benches were really hard, and all I had to lie down and I couldn't sleep was a hard bench, and I was shaking. It was so cold in there, and just being there for an hour, and how to me it was just the worst feeling in the world. You can imagine, like, if someone's not dead and they've been wounded and they've been left to die in the freezing cold, how awful a feeling that is. And not to mention you get cold as you're dying. So that energy of exclamation of feeling cold, as well as wow and oh and oof, the surprise or horror of strong emotion, were all of this coming up in humiliate. So ultimately humiliate came up as she or I, the hoe, feeling cold. To what degree? To grind, crush, one hand or a handful, a mile, 1,000, 1,000,000 moral men. It was also coming up as the penis cyst of the moral man. Also as to bathe in arrogance, a big mound on the grave, a long tragic story or famous Greek poem about the Trojan War, of intelligence and rescue and saving, to speak at length about the belly, the hips, and the genitals, to express, drone, or reek, due to I lion, I ego, I pride, I am my children. And then justice comes up, which justice comes up as the Jew stitch, prick, sting, stab, and point. And it also comes up as power in extra fluid, extract, or excretion, or speech, energy, coffee, address, and manure. Downwards, prerogative, a right of advantage, property, attribute, or talent. The preparation for the wheels to turn or to spin in your favor. To entice or coax, a widow's rights. The third hour of light, which is also referenced to as 9 a.m. or 9 a.m. service. The Jew's service, or justice is just ice. Having the energy down to entice or coax at 9 a.m. to be of service. Justice is just everyone's right to natural flow and abundance, with plenty to eat or say and to pass on to others. That is the meaning of justice. And then ice was coming up too, because just is the Jew's path, and ice is I and the seal, or the inner child of the energy, of that quantum energy. So walking away and within to the void, to pause in union, which is the symbol of that 30 with the crown on top. The 30, the symbol of Om, with the 30 with the arc and the diamond on top. A bridge of diamond light and source support of the earth and her abundance. The sun arcing their light to us. Leading the way, answer the call, with flame in right hand and keys in left, along with the hoops to jump through for the feminine multitasker. Oh, and before I go forward further on this, when I was looking up an acronym for the initials of the 5 wounds, BRAHJ, there is no word that has all 5 letters in it, because I looked under the Scrabble entry there. And the closest 2 words that came up were JHARAL and BHARAL. And this is amazing how this comes up. So the 2 only words that came up as an acronym for the 5 wounds, and the JHARAL means a Himalayan wild goat. That's big goat. But there's no B in that word from the acronym. And the other word is BHAAR. They're both HARAL, but one begins with J and the other one begins with B. The one that begins with BHARAL is the blue sheep in the Himalayan. So we've got the sheep and the goats in the Himalayan, or the masculine and the feminine Himalayan goat and sheep, where the Jaral, or the goat, have no B in the acronym, or they wouldn't exist, and the Baral, the blue sheep of the Himalayas, would have no Jesus in them. So it's the feminine can exist without the masculine, but the masculine cannot exist at all without the feminine, and that's referencing to the XX and the XY chromosomes. So, and Dharma also means spring of water, and balcony, a type of balcony in India. And that has to do with the goat. So very interesting. So the goat and the sheep of the 5 wounds. Right? So it's just saying there are no 5 letters as an acronym for the 5 wounds, because there are no 5 wounds without the lamb and the goat. So after the hoops, the feminine's jumping through here, from dark to light at 12:06, the hanging man and the lovers, up 8 to 15 steps, that's your choice, how many, with signs from the bluebird of happiness at 12:07, the hanging man and the chariot, the vehicle of ascension, but also infiltration, which is coming up as the stellar J himself from spirit with love, as Robin Redbreast is out. Right, the thief, the Queen of Wands thief, I was just getting that now, right? The one who robs, the Robin Redbreast is out, and she's been coming up, that card's been coming up a lot recently. As Robin Redbreast is out, right, or the thief, sticking out her chest to get attention, and the stellar J himself from spirit, The eagle landing and taking off, flying free in transition from 1208 to 1209, the dance to the culmination of the 9. And I was feeling like it was so weird, rumbling underground. There wasn't anything, but it was just, like I said earlier, there was some weird sounds outside with the wind, and it sounded like the earth was grumbling. The diamond light through the air, like the greatest of ease on the flying trapeze, where the diamond, remember, is 2 amands or 2 almonds. Amand literally means almond. So the diamond equals 2 almonds, or fish, or eyes, or petals, or 4 nadis, or energy arcs, where 2 arcs make a petal on the whispering bench. The sine wave, but in coiling fashion. So instead of being opposite each other, they're together and facing each other. And coiling. Letting go, again, like the coil of the heart and the rose and the 2 golden means coming together. Letting go, it's time to release number 4, which is also the L, and the 1, which is the right angle of the connection between 2 points, or the arc. The stability, letting go of that connection, the stability and structure, the survival, the control, just to be, which is the number 2, and that's just a scam call. The number 2 and B, which remember capital B is also 1, 3 of 13. So again, it's time to release the number 4 of stability, structure, survival, and control. Just to be or 2, 1, 3, which equals 6, which is also the golden mean shape of the 6 and the G, half of the rose, the Phi golden pattern, and 2 transition to the lovers, 2 the GG or 6, 6, the golden gate, and the 2 6s of the Queen of Pentacles, who's the etheric gate holder, and the other half of the heart. The 2 golden patterns or coils that together make one beautiful rose. The rose line, the 4th finger of God to heart, is the ring, not the index, the index. The rising arc, the epiphany here, the euphemism of syllables pleasing to the ear in metaphor. And the 4th finger is from the right or left thumb. The thumb is the lead finger, and why they have a special title, but it is a finger too. So it just depends on which 4th finger you're talking about. It's all in your perspective. So in dealing with something that's pleasing to the ear in metaphor, which is met of 4, but passed for the 5, 6, 7, 8, or crossing the 4D bridge, in other words, into the 5D and beyond, which is the jump-off point. The die that rolls off your tongue to mens and ion, which is dimension, the 2 in human connection, 2 in another world, winter to fall, enjoy your spring and summer while you can, before the big chill comes again. Madonna, blue and present with gifts, milady, but also husband and wife, as Ma and Don, a combo, and Michael makes 3, mother and child and family tree, the blue to purple of the mother speaking through the 3rd eye of the child at 1231, which is the hanging man in chaos with the 31, right? The entangled roots at gridlock or in a knot as the spring leaves and the little ones come trickling down to the rescue to close the gap, the generation gap. The new infiltrating the old. Remember yesterday in the title, or the day before, was the divine masculine defending abundance, which is justice. The divine feminine defending her man, the human. The old defending the young, and the young defending what's never been. To be, 2, 1, 3, which equals 6 of the lovers. To transition to the high priestess, the magician, and the empress. The twins working with Mother Terra and Gaia for the benefit of all. And then of all is also O fall, or source fall. Source falling more and more into the human. The human rises as the source falls into union with them. This agreement of the sine wave, up and down and back and forth, coiling in both directions at the same time. The twin flame quantum energy, that 2-eyed black hole, the Holy Grail, the mother of all wombs, like the X and the Y in the road, the two crazy eights dancing in that X at the jump-off pad at the Y in the road, the black hole of nothingness where everything happens, the disco ball at 12:40, which is the Hanging Man and the Page of Cups, that innocent love and innocent message. So the disco ball and Saturday night fever into Sunday mass support. At 12:41, the Hanging Man and the Ace of Cups of love, self-love, spiritual love, and new love. The celebration of the grounding, integrating, and mastering at the Y in the road of self-love, which is the GIM of the jimmying, the Jimmy jump. My mom used to call my brother Jimmy jump jump. The jimmying of self-love and recovery. And then recovery was reminding us again about doing the under the covers thing. The carpenter bee and pollinates joy, a joyous task, hugging and kissing Buttercup, Mary Magdalene, for magic and reflection. As above, so below, as we stop, so we go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, the little, the mean, the mine, and the more. 3 blind mice and their +1. As heaven and earth not only reflect, but become two as one, as heaven on earth. Reaching out to each other in compassion at 12:50 as Spirit's connecting with me. The Hanging Man and emotional fulfillment. And then at 12:54 of the message from them, the self-love, spiritual love, and new love of authentic self, of the 46 and the children hugging each other. And who is that authentic self for you? Who are you? And there's that Russian reference as well. The Queen of Wands here, stretch and lunge to connect and attune to the carpenter bee. So again, stretch and lunge to, release that stuck energy, but also to do some exercise to move your body. At the 12:56 is the Hanging Man and the Two of Swords, of the Atlas pillar of strength of 44, of the beacon to shine on, grounding, integrating, and mastering at that Y in the road, at the Jimmy, at the gym, at the Y in the road, through the aqua rose gold heart of love and harmony. And remember, the heart is the two, the GG and the 6-6 of the two spirals coming together at the same time, then become the rose. The 6 and the G both coil in a pattern of speechlessness or connection, the silent arc, the cry of the huntsman. So this is the coil, COI, and then the L of the arc from point to point. The silent arc, the cry of the huntsman, the sound of silence, the quiet, the very sweet, the balls, thee who observes and reads and watches, the coil of look at yourself, what the heck are you doing? Arching point to point, at just the right angle, the Page of Cups in their evolution birthing the new, and the King of Wands off balance in need of a wake-up call of the wild to align with justice, which is their abundance, to go with the flow 1-to-1, which when you close 1-1 it becomes the H. Go with the flow of 1-to-1 on the whispering bench while enjoying your family's circles and getting your wish or your way with them. At 1:04 is the Magician and the 4 of the Emperor. Your day in the sun, springer and summer, coiling and adding, or the koi connection after death. In a wise review of the Akashic records, and then communicating freely with free speech, reading that message from a bottle using shell or she will, hollow natural instrument with sound coming out of it. As you stretch and lunge, you release your ancestors forward to work on your behalf. With Archangel Sandalphon, who's with you now on the Fool's Journey, with a message from the castle in a cloud, rocketing in the purple moon to untie the karmic knots in the electromagnetic grid, and 2 diamond Vesica Pisces, the inner children of Atlas, the map of what's weighing on you, hear and know me, the red root shaman, the X's caliber, and the truth of Thanksgiving every day under the purple moon, reflection of the divine feminine. With the King of Cups needing to detach from drama, to be unconditionally loving and look up and love themselves as well from the bubble at sunrise or sun's rise as the moon rose. This is referencing the masculine and the feminine, that the masculine needs to rise from his bubble as the feminine already rose, having given birth as she or she'll or shall be coming round the mountain when she comes. And round was coming up as the road. She'll be coming on the path around the mountain when she comes, but RD wasn't only coming up as road here, it was coming up as round. The life bulb, the womb, the Page of Wands, which is pure inspiration before a child is even in the womb, and the purple tomb, the twin flame black hole, the dark night holy grail, God's deliverance, which is right on time, as the wind then sounded like a train horn blowing on the number 9. And this was at the purple star, the star to the purple moon at 1:17 to 18, which is the magician embodiment of that star, and healing and shining your light of dreams coming true in the purple moon. I'm going to read that one more time. The King of Cups needing to detach and look up, right? Let go of drama, to let go of conditions of love and be unconditionally loving to themselves. From the bubble at sun's rise, as the moon rose already, having given birth, the feminine, as she'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. The life bulb of the womb, the Page of Wands, that pure inspiration before the child's even in the picture of the womb, and the purple tomb, the twin flame black hole, the dark night holy grail, which is God's deliverance right on time, as the wind sounded like the train horn blowing on the number 9. So at 120, which is the magician and judgment, God's rail, which is grail, God's rail through the dark tunnel, the holy, or the hole at the Y in the road, which is also the hole in the round, which round is OU, ownership in the round, coming full circle, our human you, or holy grail, the null, or Jesus human arc, a sandy hill, notice Archangel Sandalphon just came in there, a sandy hill, or dune, or 0 point, nonsense, fruitless, unproductive, useless, which also means not used and abused. The head, the crown, water, and arrow pointed north are all meanings of what came up for the NOL. And it's coming up as the crown, the soft spot, which is your true direction at 127, the magician, and the Ace of Wands, the third flame. So let's go back and do the message of the day from yesterday and the time. If anyone wants to put this in the comments below, please. It's 48:17 now. So around 48 minutes for the second Metatron message from the 6th of March. Yeah, so this is a pretty quick one though. So this one was done yesterday when the day was the 6 of the Lovers and the Devil. It was the 15 yesterday. So the Lovers and the Devil, which is literally the same card of the Lovers, but one is dark and one is light. At 9:26 was Metatron, with the underlying energy being the leader and the 8. And the first card out being the Passion of the Knight of Wands, and the colors being orange, indigo, and white, the sacral chakra, the third eye, and then the purity of the rainbow, the white, going above your head. So, yeah, and there were no elements in that read at all. So at 9:36, with the Hermit and the Atlas of the Weight of the World, 36 is the 10 of Wands in the Tarot, stretch and lunge, again with the Queen of Wands here, the exercise to find a love for life, as the King of Cups needs to look up and detach from drama, as we ended the other reading into this one, literally, leading the way for the flame in right hand and the ring and keys in the left, up 8 steps, or 15 if you like, from dark to light, answering the call of leadership. the Queen of Wands and the King of Cups' dance. At 9:42, which is the Hermit and the Two of Cups, the Knight of Wands with the love for life, going with the flow 1-to-1, up to the whispering bench and going with the flow, being their authentic self. Who are you? And what's your key, innocent children? Both your inner masculine and feminine. As the Queen of Wands connects with her Knight of Wands in a passionate energy, movement of the heart, and the King of Cups connects with the earth and the collective awakening, the spring, and the flowering or flowering, the creation and expansion of the Empress and abundance, the King of Wands in duality and needing balance here. So now we have a family with the Queen of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and the King of Wands off, and the King of Cups trying to connect with the earth or Mother Gaia, needing to give their blessing and thanks for all that he has, synchronicities in heaven in their eyes, the abundant universe and planet, or thanksgiving every day. The Akashic Records for wise review, and flip to a page and see what it says about galactic travel or journey yet to experience, and then take action. Just pick one and go. Hermit, movement is needed. Take a walk or a jog, or go to the water, the beach, or run with the big birds. Thoth, or chariots of fire. The Indigo Child, whole and balanced, mastering the mysteries of life. Pause to receive those healing hands in coming together in joy. The cosmos mirrors you, the dodecahedron, and the 12 faces of IV, to seize or take or grasp or honor what is yours, the 12 DNA strands in continuous flow of the 12, which is the 1 and the 2, the masculine and the divine feminine, at 9:58, the Hermit and the Four of Swords in their 5D connection, which the 1 and the 2 of the masculine and feminine equals the 3 of joy and abundance, and the judgment and wake-up call for the King of Swords to purify, as it was Sunday yesterday, and the white diamond light of purity and innocence, the wing of the diamond that the light passes through and becomes the rainbow. And fine-tune your diamond for that ideal arc, the bridge that is your chariot, which is Earth, Terra, and Terra Gaia. At 9:59, the Hermit and the moment before, the 11th hour, that 59 of the war within, a hop, skip, and a jump, always open, from the King of Swords to the Queen of Cups' light body. She's connecting upwards with both heart and soul, love and inspiration, in the 7 chakras, and then the Earth Star and Soul Star, the navel chakra, the high heart, the 4th eye, and the 13th galactic transition, the 14 and 15, the angels and demons, and the 16 of sudden events, the 17 of stars that explode and implode, diminishing completely sometimes, the 18 of the purple moon at 0 point, and the 19 of the sun portal, the 20 of the cosmic feminine, sitting in tough love, to the 21 completion of the cycle as we know it at 10:10. From Aquarius to Pisces and then back to Source, coming full circle at 10:12, hanging out with destiny, the King of Cups to the Queen of Cups today, the Empress balancing with the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Wands, and the King of Wands reversed, perhaps Aries, is balancing with the King of Swords, Libra. The Hermit with World, Virgo and Pisces, and the midpoint between the Virgo and Libra, which brings up Rosh Hashanah and the Hebrew calendar, because that's the beginning of the year. And this year, the first day of the year is September 25th. The ceremony is the 25th through the 27th of the new year, Rosh Hashanah, which is an atonement, and then Yom Kippur, right after. So Rosh Hashanah is the second day, being on the first day of Tishrei, the 7th month and anniversary of the creation of Adam and Eve, and the custom of sounding the shofar, the ram's horn. So here we're just talking about the lamb and the sheep. The ram's horn to raise a noise. Oh, that was funny too. That was just in a movie where, oh yeah, that ice movie where they went out into the polar ice. And the polar bear tried to attack them, so they banged lots of pots and pans and yelled to make noise, and that made the polar bear go away. So the ram's horn to raise a noise, and applies or rather, and apples and honey for a sweet new year. A day of rest, the holy day to God, the blowing of the horn of, and then Purim was coming up as well. From 4 CBE or BCE, and the Persian Empire of K. Ahasuerus. I'm not saying it right, I'm sure, but anyway, the king with Queen Vashti, who was executed for not following his orders, which is, so with one of my last patients before I left my job, their name was Vashti. She was also my friend, but she passed away. And she's coming up here because my middle name is Esther, and there's that relationship of Vashti and Esther, which is why I'm bringing it up. But Queen Vashti was executed for not following his orders, and then arranged a beauty pageant for the new queen, which was then Esther, not knowing she was a Jew. And then the Jew-hating Haman, who was appointed as prime minister, and Mordecai was the one who was the leader of the Jews at the time, and also Esther's cousin, and refused to bow down to him. So Haman convinced the king to exterminate all the Jews on the 13th of Adar, and Esther told the king and Haman at a sit-down that she was a Jew. So Haman was hanged and Mordecai became the prime minister, and they were all allowed to defend themselves after that. So the 13th of Adar, which again is death in transition, and then the war on the 14th, they celebrated Jerusalem, and one day later, finishing off the war on the 15th of the devil and the shadow, the N13, the reprieve on the 14th, and then going back for more on the 15th, which is, right, the devil, that codependency there. So at 1041 is the Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Cups of love, setting natural boundaries daily of love and patience in a natural way and using nature. The 14, off the beaten path, off the beaten wounded warrior's path, to that higher love of the fool's journey. Through arcs and steeples, draw bridges and castles, to the sun portal at the end of the journey home. Release the old wounded warrior Kundalini energy, Akashic backpack, leaving to be replaced, perhaps by a jetpack, by the inner child of hearing and knowing me. Right? So it's like your portable inner child, you know, and the shadow backpack there. Releasing the old wounded warrior Kundalini energy backpack, replacing it with the new fool's journey with an open heart, taking a leap of faith, replaced by that inner child of hearing and knowing me. So what weighs on you today at 1044, the Wheel of Fortune, and the 44 of that Four of Cups, grounding, integrating, and mastering of love, or just boredom and apathy, but that's what that's for. Notice signs and synchronicities from spirit with love and emotional fulfillment, birds both grounded and flyers, earth and diamond light. Fly free in transition, the number 13 of Ophiuchus, or Ophiuchus, and the beacon of light of the 44 Atlas that you've been. And 44 in the numerology is more about the Atlas, whereas the 10 of Wands and the Tarot is more Atlas. So they're both in different ways. The 44 is more like a social worker Atlas type of energy. But the beacon of light 44 Atlas that you've been, release your wounded warrior with waves beating up on you, resisting your stance, or trying to break the walls down so that they can come in. Walk away and within to the void and pause and Om, remember to leave space at the end, conquering your fears or stardom one step at a time, shining your light no matter, regarding things of matter, no matter what others think, knowing you are worthy of your dreams to come true at 1050, which is that high vibe, and the 10 of Cups. And remember, everybody's dreams are different. You don't need to be like hitting the gym every day, or your worthiness has to do with what makes you happy and doing what makes you feel good, not what someone else thinks should make you feel good. That's why you have to be your own guidance, because even though someone has good intentions about what worked for them, doesn't mean it's the same thing for you. Or some people just need to walk, and other people need to work out, and other people need to jog, or some people do yoga. It's different for everybody. You just need to move your body every day. But in how you do that, that's up to you. The underlying energy is stretch and grieve, and then leading the way. The first column was about inspiring the world to wise Akashic review and mastering the mysteries and the wisdom of the collective, the whole. Then the one-to-one flow down the river, and if things speed up around the rock as you go of the fall and throw you off balance, just breathe and bring good news, unafraid to be seen and heard. After the day's journey, pause to heal and receive, and then come together with the world within to clear and heal. Birthing requires sustenance, healthy assortment of foods and exercise, the balance of stillness and movement as the cosmos mirrors any balance or imbalance within you. And remember, with exercise too, I've been being guided to pull my yoga cards every day, so I do different yoga exercises every day. And it doesn't have to be a lot. Sometimes it's only one card that comes out, but it's just to do something different every day and to do that, to stretch and to heal. And sometimes every time I do Chris Macklin's video, I always end up stretching a lot, which is great when I'm still in bed because I can push up against the wall when I'm guided, to put my arms up and stretch. And you can get a really good stretch. Like when you lean out of bed first thing in the morning, you just want to go and stretch. Do it. So then we have the 12 to 20 to 30 of that dodecahedron and that icosahedron, and the numbers involved with them both. The 12 of the hanging man, the 20 of judgment, and the 30 of the union here. The wisdom of new perspectives, the wake-up call to not judge but know, and then home and union we go. At 11 o'clock on the dot with source energy backing up the number 11. So I might as well do this for you too. Did I take a picture of it? I did a twin flame read with my usual read cards, not my big read. I did one. Yep, here it is. Is that one? Underlying energy. Yeah. So this is a twin flame read I did yesterday. I wasn't necessarily thinking about posting it, but I want to give you that information. Okay. So it's just the Gilded Tarot and the Mini Rider-Waite. Okay. So here it's kind of hard to see everything, but right here is the underlying energy, and then my regular read. But I used the whole deck. So some people say, why? Of course you're going to hit every point with the whole deck. That's not the point. The point is the whole deck is the whole. It's always the whole. And it doesn't matter how many times you put the cards out. They're never going to come up as the same message being so many cards next to each other. There's always a different message. So this is the way I do it. This is the way I'm guided to do it. So if you'd like to listen, this is the message for this read from yesterday. So this was at 11:11 yesterday morning. Overwork, and again, this is general messages for the twin flames. Overwork, underpaid, or getting over loss and regret, as the world of divine feminine opens to the King of Swords with concerns or regrets. Starting over after sudden events and quantum energy exchange, after the King of Swords resisting sudden changes, and the false Holy Grail dumping it out for third party after blowing their mind. In the recent past, the Queen of Wands is upright after sexual exchange or forcing her agenda, or that can be creative energy as well, or too hot to handle, and the foundation is the Two of Wands reversed, having been unable to implement their choice of path, and which requires reciprocation. The central energy of the Page of Swords reversed, really immature, with a negative message or child, or negative self-talk and rumors, spying, lying, or the silent treatment, and the Page of Wands reversed, bored with themselves, or grounding, integrating reflection of losing patience or temper, and the wounded warrior of the Page of Wands, the devil child, or the fallen angel, along with the Page of Swords reversed, perhaps at home, with the King of Cups, with no peace, and suffering in silence, or unable to sleep because they're making noise. Perhaps two kids are bored at home, up to no good, with the King of Cups, without peace, and up nights. But the Page of Swords is in the center of it all in this read at 11:24, which again is Justice and the Queen of Wands. So a negative, and by the way, this was what started about 103. So if you want to post that in the comments as well. So about 102 or 3, whenever it started for this read. So a negative message being sent here, or rumors, or a child with a big mouth, Or the Queen of Wands traveling or moving with the King of Wands, while the King of Wands is in energetic exchange with the Empress reversed, the Six of Cups reversed, kids, and recovering with Star or Aquarius, or healing the Emperor reversed. Or the Empress reversed and the Emperor reversed are both acting like children, and the Emperor reversed has dreams, and the Empress reversed is not wanting to be alone and yet not happy either. The Queen of Wands was lied to or cheated on or stolen from and still recovered to be happy with themselves. As challenged by the Star of the family, the Knight of Cups reversed and the Queen of Pentacles reversed, perhaps a brother and a sister, jealous and ungrounded, or the schmoozer and the spender, healing or apologizing to the Knight of Pentacles, but the Knight of Pentacles may be ignoring them. And this could be, too, also somebody going away, but needing to stay in touch with family because perhaps something's going on with their parents, or because the family's upset that they're going away with this person. Maybe they don't agree with their choice of person. Or the Knight of Pentacles. So these two, the schmoozer and the spender, healing and apologizing to the Knight of Pentacles, but the Knight of Pentacles may be ignoring them, offering help or a proposal without their blessing, and or no guarantee of new passion to share equally or settle out with unhappy family, or end an emotional cycle with the Page of Pentacles reversed, who's in need of help, or just never learns or turns down opportunities or an invitation, perhaps given a choice from wealthy family, business, or community, releasing the Queen of Swords to speak the whole truth up close with defensive wounded warrior and the King of Pentacles, who may be a bit snobby, present to ego of the Knight of Wands reversed, who may be a player, and not wanting them to stick up for them or speak on their behalf. The Knight of Wands reversed is knocked off balance by the Queen of Swords' news of the destiny of lovers of the Queen of Cups and the Sun, with bliss and home to celebrate after, while the King of Cups home saving and being practical, with no peace and no sleep, and purging confusion to get clear about the daily grind, or juggling with the Knight of Swords coming in or looking out for a package they're expecting. The injustice of the Page of Cups upright, or that watery, loving child, so loving and kind, and the secret passion and deception, or Pisces and Cancer holding back an announcement and judgment, or Aquarius reversed and Pisces and Cancer reversed, where Aquarius is between the Page of Cups and the world, or divine feminine, or perhaps another Pisces. And the Magician reversed is resisting sudden changes. And the Magician can be a Gemini or Virgo, sometimes Aries for me. But they're resisting sudden change. And the Sovereign detoxing, or the Sovereign is a Capricorn, may be playing hardball with Taurus reversed, or in a divorce to be free at 12 on the dot, Source backing up the Hanging Man. Home, hoarding, the King of Cups upright, without peace, or they're not going with them. He may be purging or dumping emotional load and emotional attachments about getting his act together. And now crowning is the Devil or Capricorn, Queen of Cups reversed, going on vacation for bliss, or the Queen of Cups mother happy for them, the kids in the sun, or the Queen of Wands upright with Devil child, or Aquarius or a pouty air sign, or his father or the relatives he lives with. Soon is being uncomfortable, the Emperor reversed and the Queen of Pentacles reversed, about Pisces or divine feminine, and the Emperor reversed being strong and rising above, the twin flame seeing themselves as the Queen of Swords reversed, independent and detoxing, or keeping out of the Capricorn reversed and Taurus reversed divorce, or Earth with Capricorn in chart, savings for spiritual new life, or withholding time, money, and energy from Taurus reversed. At 12:12 here, 2 hanging out, the Queen of Swords reversed, deeply hurt or scorned or widowed, and the King of Pentacles looking the other way at Leo, pet, child, or Guinevere, that she's like the wind, or the beast on the chain, the third party and defenseless to energies of child's attack, or child who used their inheritance or family business money to get a dog, perhaps. The block here being the Six of Swords, peaceful travels, to pot of gold at the end of the rainbow at 12:16, hanging out with the Tower. In the end, the worst over, Bliss sets in of the Ten of Cups happy family, the truth to the wounded warrior, King of Pentacles, and the King of Cups reversed, or the King of Pentacles is emotionally detached and unavailable. So the King of Cups reversed, or the King of Pentacles is that King of Cups and emotionally detached or unavailable, letting go to fix things with the Ten of Pentacles family, business, or community or legacy, with the Page of Pentacles reversed, and Leo reaping rewards with the Empress upright, which can be a mother, aunt, grandmother, boss, or Taurus. Free to walking away from PTSD and looting. The Empress upright in slowdown, with the Magician or things not in their favor, her in the ring, he and the tools, or girls and their beauty supplies and boys and their toys. In Two Cups connection with third party through work, and not coming together, or Libra reverse between Taurus and Virgo, where the Empress is reaping with Leo or kids, going to the King of Pentacles for money, and the Magician in intense connection with issues at work and or antisocial behavior, in ending death, dark night, or transition at 12:24, the Hangman and the Queen of Wands. Ending a huge cycle to offer a brand new one, willing to fall and be prisoner of love, apologize and heal for rejection, or to the Page of Cups reversed, a new information or clarity about the Queen of Pentacles reversed, Cancer, or clarity at night. After things not working out with Taurus upright and Libra reversed, or the Empress and the Magician and the Hermit coming out. After going nuts about it at work and ending conflict or competition, with the King of Swords reversed, healing and forgiving or apologizing as the Knight of Pentacles for any abuse and offering to settle, with the Ten of Cups reversed, unhappy family, or offering money for sex, or to be abused or ignored by one with a reputation to uphold but no emotional fulfillment, and in need of help, or the Knight of Pentacles upright and the Page of Pentacles reversed, who could be siblings, always trying to get their father's attention but ignored, or always expecting too much from them, always wanting their money or to do their work for them. And all that is now over. A new life with the Page of Cups upright, making an offer to them, or twin, with the Ten of Pentacles family, business, or community, and willing to release the Queen of Swords upright, to heal and apologize and or forgive. The Page of Cups reverse, rejection or behavior unbecoming, to get dirt on the Queen of Pentacles reversed, or reaping rewards and disconnect or at a distance, and confessing, taking a load off, or dumping a load. At night, dropping the act, unstable home with the Knight of Wands reversed and the Knight of Swords upright going at it in the past or about the past, and dumping a load or broke up, or purging or dumping on the Queen of Cups as the King of Wands looks the other way at 12:39, the Hanging Man and the Knight of Cups. So at 12:40, the Hanging Man and the Page of Cups, at dumping emotional attachments or multiple loads, in juggling with secret passion, who may be insecure or a manipulator, avoiding sudden changes due to deception under the radar or table, near death, injustice, and new information, and clarity destined to get to lover or sister, or suffering in silence or stressed out, not sleeping and purging, dumped or dumped on, or pushed to the emotional limit. The King of Wands upright with dependent spender, and the Knight of Cups reversed, jealous and insincere. Siblings or children coming clean about going nuts, or about parent who's losing it, or coming out about Taurus with Virgo in their chart, with lover drained, unhappy, over-radiated or overexposed, or burned by the Knight of Wands upright and the Knight of Pentacles upright, holding back an announcement or needing to swallow their pride about losing patience, their temper, or being the fallen angel. Or Aquarius reversed and Sag reversed out in the cold, perhaps with sister or suffering in silence, with the Page of Wands reversed, frustrated, or frustrating to the Emperor on break or in 5D connect, in energetic exchange with one standing up for themselves at 12:47, the Hangman and synchronicities, seeing synchronicities with a choice, all good, and dumping a load, burden, or responsibility, when the Knight of Swords rushes in with justice, or the Knight of Swords Libra triumphing to end conflict, with the Chariot, the warpath, with Cancer and the wounded warrior, surrendering to shame or settling out, dissatisfaction, or even though they're dissatisfied, finding a way out from failure, tempted by the devil or Capricorn, under the radar, High Priestess or Pisces, or secret, willing to give their heart openly and freely, and they had run from them in the past. So dealing with the devil over lover, this is preferring the devil over the lover, or codependency over the lover, or Capricorn over the lover, insecure without tools, a sister, or suffering in silence and purging it out. The Hierophant's under the radar, with clarity about deception of a lover in need of sunshine or vacation, with the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles, and not telling, in need of patience, and needing to close a chapter with destined lover after sudden injustice of Libra and Gemini upright, or Scorpio and Libra reversed, with Libra lover with double Scorpio reversed, injustice here, at 12:55 of the Hangman and the Truth, or the X's caliber. At 1 p.m., I was getting my grandmother in my paintings here. She used to paint in her 60s, and her name was Esther, which is my middle name, which is why the Book of Esther came up today. And again, there was a wound coming up here about no one to take care of you, trying to meditate but not getting anything. Yeah, and there's definitely that wound coming up about no affection, right? No one to care for you, or for you, like you being there for everybody else, but no one there for you to allow you to put your head in their lap. And with that energy of like being in someone's lap, like your head is in their lap and they let you put your head on their lap, and then that person kind of moving and stretching because they think it's funny that you fell on the floor. But this was after a time where you really needed to put your head in their lap, and how much that hurt. That energy came up. So then, so that was that read. So let's get to the next one. It's 11710. So the message of the day, and then we'll get to the big read. So this is the message of the day, and this is my 4-deck read of the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, the Lenormand Reverie rather, and then the Gilded, and then the Kipper deck. And this one is read from, here's the underlying energies, and they're read in this order, and then this one big one down here. So the message of the day here at 5:05 yesterday afternoon, the underlying energy of the Phoenix, the Power Woman, the Empress reversed, and the Mature Loving Woman. The Phoenix rising with 3 women here, present in lack and mature and loving. The Buffalo Stingray plugged into the Dragon, and the Cobras peering out at the Black Egg, or the Throat Chakra, the Truth. The Innocent Otter with Black Panther growling to rise from the ashes with them, and the Loving Man in public meet with one last rose to decide a direction, with the 2 Cups taking a closer look, grounding, integrating, and mastering at that Y in the road, perhaps love on a trip of abundance, to sift through the layers of coming together, through confusion with Power Woman present and or with gifts. The Queen of Swords reversed, Aquarius, and the King of Cups reversed, starting over. Or the Queen of Swords reversed and King of Cups reversed are both depressed and blinded by the light, and now that the worst is over, it's time to celebrate or be happy with themselves. And the Empress reversed, which is coming up as Mother Gaia now too, or someone who's in lack. A message of concern, patience, or a higher love of the man with concerns of martyring themselves, and wise, perfect lady, and a false person. At 5:21 is the Hierophant and the World, of commitment and guidance to closure. And loving mature woman, or 2 daughters and a woman in lack. And the first pile out is the Dragonfly and the Lamb, 2 as one, and the 2 as one heart, and the target of the Lamb. The dragon flying in abundant energetic exchange, defenseless to the energies of occupation, or occupied by energetic exchange, or occupational hazard. The Lamb a target, and the Queen of Wands reflecting losing their patience, temper, or fallen angel in judgment, or lost the house in the judgment. With Sagittarius and Aquarius, and lots of back and forth here, of Sagittarius perhaps without an excuse. The second section is the eagle, the octopus, and the swans. Triggering the main frame with lots of extensions and reflecting, diving into my octopus teacher, and mirror image the swan. The eagle with wise group of friends or community announcements, with the Knight of Cups, of being love, and the octopus that would die for their children, the wounded warrior cutting cords at birth, ending the war before it begins. In death, ending dark night or case that was closed, or candlelight vigil, or lost at sea, where the swans are reflecting the fox leaving the henhouse for a higher love and ending up imprisoned by the emperor's courtship. The community cutting cords with the fox and chasing them away, the judgment or announcement and the wake-up call of the prisoner of war here, getting the community to pray together. Pisces and Aquarius both upright, as well as Leo and Aries here, and the third section here is the Scorpion and the Shark on attack. The Scorpion on the Fool's Journey with path to pick, offering a new life to the main female High Priestess. The Shark is making high vibe cuts with precision separation of the wheat from the chaff, and the Knight of Wands on a rescue mission with official person on the Fool's Journey. Scorpio, Aries, Libra, Pisces, and Sagittarius all here, offering a new life to the Knight of Wands, screening process and making cuts. The main female and official person, or Knight of Wands, now making it official. The fourth section here is the hyena, the butterfly, and the tiger. The hyena, devilish and pushy polar bear, presenting the truth to get the King of Cups child free and yet impoverished here. I was watching, what is that? There's a Netflix movie about the Delta. You know, it's like a documentary, but it's beautifully done. But the wild dogs the wild wolves were so cute. They had pups. You had to see them, so you might want to check them out. They're coming up here because the hyena, devilish, pushy polar bear was reminding me of that. But presenting the truth to set the King of Cups child free, impoverished, right? So in the wild, if you set your child free, they could get eaten by another animal. Is that the butterfly here is the King of Cups transforming timelines of the Ten of Cups family and catching a train, perhaps for the last one for the coast, a high vibe train. So the first was the hyena, devilish pushy polar bear. The second one is this King of Cups, who the pushy polar bear set free. The tiger power man twin with third party lady in WAITE 28. As the boy becomes a man, the frog becomes a prince. The truth of the Ten of Cups family emotionally fulfilled by third party, and Capricorn, Libra, water. The fifth section here is the camel and the vulture. The independent yet blue, exposing the powers that be, and the Hierophant reversed in a divorce or adjudicating in court. The vulture self-loving and diving deep into deception of bad health or the healthcare system, or spiritual deception and up before dawn, or in court over vulture's health and breaking contracts, with Leo, Taurus reversed, Cancer reversed here. The sixth section is the rabbit, the bat, the golden egg, the gazelle, and the peacock. The rabbit's always scared, and the bat's lost in space, nesting the golden egg, and the heart, chakra, with graceful gazelle, who's oh so calm, and the peacock who's looking on and noticing that, or the moms hanging out together with their kids. The bunny's home with the emperor, avoiding disaster, with thief or Queen of Wands, and the bats cracking the whip with their rod and staff, and embarrassed suddenly thinking of a woman. The golden egg heart of the power man, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, with the Ankh and IV, or dictation, or talk to do, with heavy load to carry and inspired by unexpected income. The gazelle inspired by letter or document or DocuSign, maybe it's somebody's first time using it, or for the Knight of Swords to get a message across or to travel across seas. As the peacock is standing up for freedoms to recover the Page of Wands inspired by great fortune. And Aries, Scorpio, Libra, and Leo with good luck between Loving Lady and the King of Swords hermiting the changes. And the Loving Lady in energetic exchange or arrows of love with the Justice or Libra hitting the jackpot. Pisces and Virgo, where she is with wise counsel, and the Queen of Pentacles reversed in energetic exchange with the King of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles reversed, Queen of Cups, who's working really hard. Or perhaps weaving the fabric together. At 5:55, the Hierophant and the Truth, that Queen of Cups working really hard to weave it all together, and the sunshine, vacation, or working late exposed, presently inspired, or gifts that are imprisoning to them. The Page of Cups with multiple faces of vulnerability, and the Knight of Cups and the Hierophant, mature worldly man, and the Hermit with gifts, or receiving flowers and finding a way out to meet the Knight of Cups on the journey of despair or the journey of the pair. The natural woman and wise counsel exposing vulnerabilities and gifts. The King of Swords in energetic exchange and the Queen of Pentacles reversed, working late with the Knight of Cups to offer a way out. The King of Swords Hermit, Libra, and Virgo hit the jackpot, with the Queen of Cups hard at work as the prisoner of war of the present moment, and the gifts with mature married man in despair or in the pair, with Pisces, Virgo, Libra, Taurus, and Capricorn here at 6:01, the Lovers and the Magician embodiment. And now we have the main read on the table there. Hold on a second, if I can get to these. Okay, so here's the main read for today, the Twin Flame General Read. And that's the SIRIAN Starseed deck. And then we have the full 7-deck read here. Okay, and that's all of them. I know it's a lot today, but you don't have to watch the whole video, but please at least watch the first part. Okay, we have my voice is going already as I start this read, so I wonder what's coming up. At 8:48 with the SIRIAN Starseed deck was cut and dealt. At 8:48 last night, the 8 of the dance and the 48 of the 8 of Cups and walking away and within. At 8:58 is then the 4 of Swords of the 5D connection between the masculine and feminine. Of Chalices came up, which is of the heart and emotions, and then Lices, which also came up. So let me just look, I want to look that up real quick because I know it's lice, but what else does lices mean? Let me see if something else comes up. So lices it also means I am for sale. I have a price, I fetch, I value, which is why I can't speak right now. So as soon as we came up and to do this Twin Flame read, they're saying you're saying that you're for sale, that you have a price as opposed to you're priceless, that I fetch, I value. And for me, I have a wound around being told I value you, because for me that's not the same as I love you. Right? Because love is supposed to be given freely. That's what unconditional love is. It doesn't have a price on it. So I am for sale, I have a price, I fetch, I value. It also means secondary school or high school. So you may be dealing with kids in secondary or high school right now. Let's see if there's anything else that came up here. Nope, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Oh, that was significant. So I'm glad I looked that up. Okay, so that's why I still can't speak fully. My throat isn't cleared yet, but... So again, what is your price? What do you value? Right? Will you sell your freedom for love? because that's not love. What we sell for love, that's not actually love, right? Someone who loves you like a good, loving mother or father guides you, but lets you be free to make your own decisions, just as you are to your own kids. What is your price for love? To not be alone, I should say. So, I'm getting the song, what is your price for finding Mr. Right? That's coming up here. At 9:09 to 9:10, I finished clarifying, and I still can't talk. 9:09 is that gate where it's always after Lion's Gate. It's always like kind of a reprieve, like where you can't connect at all, like you're dumped back into 3D reality, and you feel like you're not in 5D at all. And that's around that 9:09 time. So 9 to 10 is the endings to into the new beginnings. It's also the 9 of the Hermit and going within, but also the collective consciousness and completion points, and the 10 of the high vibe energy. So the code line, or the major arcana rather, first, the major arcana were Starseed. There's a lot in the read today. So a lot of assistance here with the major arcana. The Starseed, which is the Fool, the Strength card, the Alchemy, which is the Magician, or excuse me, is the Temperance card. The Indigo is the Magician. So Alchemy is the Temperance card. Abundance is the Empress. Higher Self, which is High Priestess. Ascension, which is the World. And then Indigo, which is the Magician. Before the read, the Shadow or Devil came up, and after the read, the Tower came up. There were 2 Wands, 2 Cups, and that was it. So 22, the Fool's Journey, with Wands and Cups, no Swords and no Pentacles. Very interesting. Because often the twins come up as when they're in the pages, they come up as the Page of Wands and the Page of Cups. So the numbers, the only numbers that came up in the read were all doubles. 22, 66, 88, and 1010. 22 of the Fool's Journey, 66 of the Queen of Pentacles, 88 of the twins standing, and remember 66 is also the heart, right, because it's the 2 coils of the golden mean coming together. The 88 of the twins both dancing side by side, and then the 1010 of that very high vibration trill. Regarding following your dreams and patience, which is very interesting the way they were broken up today, because they were broken up into F, allow, U, R, dreams, and then PA and tense, which I'll get into how that came out. So, oh, by the way, before the read, there were no court cards in the read. Before the read was the Knight of Swords, the King of Cups, and the Queen of Swords, and after the read is the Page of Cups, but none in the main body of the read regarding following your dreams and patience. And this is the way the read came out. Ma, so Ma and Pa both come up here. Ma's in the main part of the message, and then Pa comes up in the number cards there, with following your dreams and patience as Pa and Tiens. So Ma, Sophia, vainly aloof or apart from the others, the strength of the 6, the lovers, and the Sophia 9, or the divine collective consciousness of the feminine. Allow our dreams to be. And it was literally saying, F you, Pa, or Father, which I guess is really the energy. I didn't realize this when I wrote this, but last night when I purged, that was my energy and the way I felt. So that's coming up. The country cottage of high vibe, apart from the others, to strengthen lovers. And the gold, high, aside strength of the lovers, allowing our dreams to be an FU Pa. So that can be follow-up with Father as well, or Pennsylvania as PA. And then March in vain, the icy strength of the lovers, right? Needing to be cold and strong with boundaries up, right? Because you're not going to sell your love for just anybody. And then the caretakers that are humans, right? Where those who take care of others tend to get walked on, right? The caretaker or humans, she aloof. The strength of the love, family, and community that can gather around when needed. Of following dreams and patience. The ma, that she's away, or Shiite, also coming up here, so some Islam energy coming up here. Or aloof or vain, the ma, the strength of the lovers. Of allowing our dreams to be. Follow up with the father. So here's the ma and pa here. Right? Of the masculine and the feminine, the mother, the father. Allow our dreams to be and stand up to the father, but also follow up with the father at the same time. So again, it's everything at the same time. Being both sides of the coin, not just one-sided, not just being the caregiver or the care receiver, but being both to each other. Oh, so the movie that came up last night was Gifted Hands, which was an older movie, but it's a really nice movie about an African-American surgeon, a brain surgeon, who, yeah, like to think he would have made it from where he came from was just amazing. And someone, a surgeon who also prayed, right? So that it wasn't just one or the other, just science or God, but actually believing in that collective empowerment as well. So it was a really good movie too, if you want to watch it, Gifted Hands. And then the other one with the animals was called Surviving Paradise. So that's more of a documentary. So the other messages that came up were High Mass was coming up. High Mass, where the ex-Isis, this could be especially with some who have exes who are very religious. The High Mass, the ex-Isis, with her strength and family and community. Allow our dreams to be F-U, Pa, or follow up, Pa or PA. And again, the High Mass with Abe, which can be Abraham, and the fish, which is actually Jesus, right? And then water ice also coming up, which is where the ice then melts, right? Strengthening the family and lovers. Okay, so it's your choice on how this plays out. So then we have at 9:49, the Hermit and the Nine of Cups, the Starseed that started out the underlying energy in the read. Okay, so the bottom of the deck right here, that card with the mini cards on top. So the Knight of Swords, the King of Cups, Six of Cups, Shadow were all reversed beneath the Starseed, and then the Queen of Swords upright right beneath the Starseed. So the Knight of Swords reversed, holding their tongue, or silent treatment, or they could be lashing out as well, with the King of Cups reversed in a fallout of difficult kids or sad kids who may be detoxing, as the Queen of Swords is upright, free to fly, or maybe leaping, released after death or a near-death experience, needing closure for the Knight of Cups to offer love after a sudden event, epiphany, or sexual exchange or quantum exchange, broken, broke down, broke up, broke in, broke out, or broke through to awaken. The Hermit upright with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, or the Queen of Pentacles is a Virgo, and receiving new passionate offer from the Hierophant reversed, or divorcee, or that's Taurus reversed, with the Lovers reversed after a breakup, an energetic exchange, and hanging a shingle over resting, meditating, or taking breaks, or taking care of broken lovers. As the Capricorn is reversed, along with Taurus and Gemini, we also had Aries and Virgo upright here, praying for fallen angels, both the really negative dark ones and our sweet fallen angels who have fallen, those who had the rug pulled out from under them. The King of Cups reversed, not sharing, perhaps out of options, but the Page of Wands is inspired. At 10:19, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the Sun, as the King of Cups reversed, blockhead, without options, now inspiring. So there's a Charlie Brown thing coming up there. Someone might, the masculines, there may be some who have a real issue from childhood about being called a blockhead because they're really smart. The King of Cups reversed, blockhead, without options, now inspired by true love, and beneath that, trust. And the Five of Pentacles reversed, recovering without help, and the Wounded Warrior reversed, surrendering but without a friend or no one to help, and pushing Sleeping Beauty out of bed, which is funny because that's what I described to you about being pushed off the bench, basically. As the Knight of Cups is offering love, pushing the old one out, or Barbie in a basket out, and that could be someone with addictions or codependencies, out for the new. with nature in 74, which is that perfect balance of nature, and self-love, of taking a risk to self-love, with 61, with heartbroken or separated or just disappointed at work, with the Empress being strong, or Taurus and Leo, and the Six of Cups kids, or soulmate, or the memories of soul tie and implementing a plan, but losing patience or temper, or being the fallen angel. No more fruit to pick in the Garden of Eden, perhaps, or no more flowers for Algernon, but there is a cat to play with. And Sagittarius reversed. The fallen angels, or perhaps a miscarriage here. A new start with a rest, and I'm sorry if someone lost anybody. The Page of Wands inspired to offer love and balance things naturally. With resisting sudden changes after a sudden event, with secret passion at 11:25, the Justice and the Knight of Wands. Good news, or riding in with all tools on board, or very skilled surgeon. Dumping emotional attachments or multiple loads to shine or expose, the Queen of Wands reversed, with courage, and the Ten of Pentacles upright, wise elders. Free with open hearts, an expansive group home perhaps, with conflict, competition, or chaos, in disconnect or at a distance, and healing, released from pride and family that's unhappy here at 11:39, which is Justice and the Knight of Cups. At 11:40 of Justice and the Page of Cups, with abundance or the Empress reversed, after a delivery or after war or virus, or a country, or counting on looting to survive, which came up in the wild yesterday, right? Because they all count on each other for food. So abundance reversed after delivery, or after war, after virus, or counting on that looting that happens after the war to survive from stars of family and bad influences around, in disconnect or at a distance, and coming together to work with secret passion. And the Page of Swords is message about the past, or the Page of Swords looking back at the magician stressed out and needing to make a kill or a lashing. The mothers over the hill in exile, or prisoners of war, and that came up too. It was so sad when they pushed the old lion and then the old lioness out of the tribe because the younger ones were up and coming. And then the older lioness who got exiled ran into a younger, huge lion, but he was younger, who actually allowed her to be with him. It was so sweet. It made me feel so much better because I felt awful when she was alone. And the old man lion too, who was alone, but I didn't see what happened to him because I didn't watch the whole thing. But the central energy here is the Eight of Wands upright, an energetic exchange with little integrity at work, dumping responsibilities in deception or before dawn, dumping a load in secret, powerless, without lover or affection, and the Six of Cups reverse falling out, or the little ones in danger and dissatisfied alone, and the Knight of Wands reverse player who's on the prowl, challenged by a lack of strength and integrity. And the sister, or the one suffering or stressed out or not sleeping at night at home, or unable to work or overworked and pushed to their emotional limit, overwhelmed or dumped on, and the Ten of Pentacles family, business, or community seeking advice from the Hermit. The King of Swords reversed and the Ten of Wands reversed, only confessing after caught. The Knight of Wands reversed, or the rogue lion, taken down with their pups, or by their pups. Vulnerable children or soulmates with bad memories, no longer inspecting every inch, or done with an inspection. Finding peace with the Queen of Cups reversed, no longer picky, and the patient angel at work with the Emperor reversed, starting over, no longer bored with liar, cheat, or thief around, or a runaway, or with the guilty party at 12:21. Now crowning is the Six of Wands reversed, with failure and in need of clarity, under the radar or split, on a quest and taking no prisoners, as the Page of Cups reversed is vulnerable, and the Knight of Pentacles reversed is surrendering to the fallen angel. The Seven of Wands upright, standing up for themselves to unwanted advances, and the Hermit missing their flame. The Divine Feminine in the 5D world, in energetic exchange with Justice or Libra, and the Queen of Cups reversed, free from the King of Wands reversed, who's living in the past, with the King of Swords reversed, and the Page of Pentacles reversed, wounded warrior who's surrendering. The King of Wands reversed is not sharing or showing affection, or out of options to eat out with the Queen of Cups reversed, and needing clarity about their new passion. Healing with dumping emotional attachments or multiple loads, or sick and needing strength or courage to go on. And soon as the Two of Cups reversed in disconnect or at a distance from home, the Page of Cups reversed, who's vulnerable, offering passion and growth from the King of Pentacles reversed, and detoxing chaos, or the King of Pentacles is a Capricorn or has Capricorn in his chart, moving to peace away from the Empress reversed, and the Page of Swords with a message for the Magician, who's manifesting big, the Page of Wands upright and the King of Pentacles reversed. Perhaps there are twin King of Pentacles here. At 12:34, which is the Hanging Man and the energetic exchange, or Arrows of Love, with Capricorn and Taurus reversed and Gemini and Virgo upright, and the King of Pentacles and the Page of Cups both reversed, here with the Page of Swords and Page of Wands upright, the King of Pentacles and the Empress reversed. So the twin flames are seeing themselves as the higher selves but reversed, whether not using their intuitions or needing to do so, or dealing with secret passion under the radar and energized and exposing all, with the Queen of Swords getting over loss and regret and reaping their knowing and keeping to themselves as the patient angel or child or Leo or pet, with angel watching over them. So someone's definitely got an angel watching over them at 12:37, which is the Hanging Man and the 37 of the King of Cups. And I had my friend from high school always used to say that about me, that I had somebody watching over me. Pisces reverse, Leo and Sagittarius both upright here. And let your friends help. Retreat, love yourself first, and this could be the one. Around the twins, or how they're seen, is Ascension reversed, or the World reversed. The Divine Feminine in the 5D, with Pisces reversed, ending pain or a painful ending, or back pain and getting a massage, or hot stones and withholding or playing hardball if they want back in. The Hierophant reversed or divorced, or Spiritual Queen of Pentacles reversed, with the Knight of Wands reversed, falling short, or Taurus Queen of Pentacles reversed, and Sagittarius who fell off the wagon, or is paralyzed by their passions, and the block is the Indigo upright proposal for emotional cycle to end, or with unhappy family wanting to start over, with Magician upright, the Master Manifester here. With patience and following your dreams, but even more so, love and teaching and learning. The Dream Girl, the Star, the big love at work, and walking away with offer of new passion, with Patient Angel at work, with the Emperor reversed, given guilty party another chance, and the Divine Feminine in 5D, or Pisces reversed, Emperor reversed, and Queen of Wands reversed here, walking away without option to heal, to apologize or to forgive, and dump emotional attachments to weakness, Leo or pet. The Ten of Pentacles, reflection, very painful, ending and avoiding disaster, resisting sudden changes and dropping the act, the bull or the pattern, and knocked for a loop perhaps. In a fresh new start, alchemizing a secret passion to complete the cycle, the Empress reversed, or one in lack, in energetic exchange and challenged by weakness, or Leo reversed, or ego out of control, in disconnect or at a distance from Indigo proposing under the radar to walk away in need of a new path, with the Ten of Pentacles, dream, family, business, or community rejection, or vulnerable to pain and resisting ending it. Leaping in a big download from the Empress reversed or fallen angel, alchemized patience and balance in energetic exchange under the radar, and challenged by weakness, ego, and secret passion in disconnect or at a distance with the world upside down, and Indigo proposing to leave without choice at 12:52, the Hanging Man and the Queen of Swords, and the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, or legacy of ending pain for the vulnerable after sudden events. And there's your read. So I'm only going to pull a quick two because we're already almost 2 hours. So let's just do an energy card, and maybe a Lenormand card will do. So our takeaway from the read today, and it's 3:25 on the clock, which is the Empress and the Knight of Wands, who are just coming up in the read. And it's 1:49, 14:15 is the Magician, the Getting Your Wish of the 49, Nine of Cups, and the Angel and the Devil, or the light and the shadow. Oh, there we go. This popped right out. It was so cool. It just jumped up and landed right on top of my thumb. Under my thumb. They don't want to be under your thumb anymore. The thinking man, the 46, the inner children of the masculine and feminine, is making me cry in a good way. The second chakra, Archangel Ariel, of creation and sexual abundance and growth. So the 36 is also the atlas of the weight of the world, and the weight of the world on the sacral chakra of creation, and the inner children here, right, carrying twins. And then the 12 of the temple path, of hanging out together here. Look at that. And then we have the fourth chakra too. Because this card kind of includes two children, right? That this is the masculine, right, discovering their alternative mission, right? What they truly want to do with their inner child, both masculine and feminine. And then there's the atlas of the weight of the world of the mother energy, right? Because it has to do with the womb and carrying the weight of the world as a mother. And then the path here, and this is also like the Garden of Prayer from Thomas Kincaid. And there's the fourth chakra of the heart of the 38 and the Queen of Cups, of being very loving, nurturing, and intuitive. This can also represent like a father and two children, or the two children, and this is the two, perhaps two coming together for a mission as well on their path. And they don't have to be children, it could be the masculine and the feminine coming together to go on path, to do their mission together, as the Queen of Cups and Atlas hanging out. Well, isn't that lovely? Says that the church lady? The church lady just came up. So maybe there's a church lady that we're going to get to know. Okay, there's the angel of strength, right? The matriarch of the family, and the community, right? Those can also be gossipers, but it's coming up as, yeah, look. It's so weird because it's reminding me of the woman who stopped by my house saying that she got lost, but I still don't know if she did it on purpose or not. She could have. She might be somebody. So here we have the Chariot with the community, perhaps people planning for prom, right, with the mother, the matriarch of the family, right, the 10 of Cups family. Maybe she's the church lady, maybe she's very religious. And then here we have envy, right, the two mothers or the two mothers-in-law. Okay, because this one is envious, and this could be a mother doesn't want another mother around her children, right? Again, this is about judgment, the dark mother, envy, jealousy, and then here's the Tower of Strength with the wings, right? So it's like, right, the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other, and then the community between, whether this is children or the community of the twins, right? Because usually a lot of women involved, and then the Chariot here as well. And again, it could have to do with prom and both mothers wanting to be involved, and one might be envious of the other one because maybe they're getting more attention. And then we have here, with this one over here, that they have adjacent possibilities. They could see another perspective, or they could do something different. They could open up and go to another group, perhaps, if this isn't the community they want to be involved with. They have other choices that are right there in front of them. And here's the Queen of Wands. So this can be the Queen of Wands, or this can be a mother and the Queen of Wands. Maybe she could go do something with her daughter. But again, we have the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Wands both coming up here. Okay, because there's 4 and 4 too. And this can reference two sections as the masculine group and the feminine group over here. Okay, so we have the Queen of Cups over here and the Queen of Wands over here, along with the children, Atlas, the path of emotional fulfillment, and the Chariot to get on, and the wake-up call. So the masculine here, perhaps with two kids on path of their journey, or coming together with the twin, or perhaps it could be two kids coming together to do something high vibe as well. And then on the other side, we could have the feminine here, perhaps with the community, or perhaps 3 daughters, but also dealing with, right, someone coming against them who has other options, right? They don't need to be envious. They need to be who they are, not who this person is. That's the whole point. So that's coming up there. And the bottom of the deck is the rest and rejuvenation here of the masculine taking a break in the sun, taking vacation, meditating with the angel of balance, right? So this can reference the feminine walking away within as the masculine takes a break. This also could be a masculine taking a break from their kids, right? Because we're getting in the reads where someone's not getting any sleep because the kids are really noisy. So that could be as well. But again, with someone being a patient angel, a little angel of balance, walking away and within, allowing them to get some rest and rejuvenation here. So let's see what the Lenormand Reverie has for you guys as well. It was just 1:55:22 when I looked. The Magician and the Truth of the Journey. And I feel feeling it's 3:31 and the clock will probably end right by 3:33. This fell right out right away. The 11 of Justice, which we talked a lot about today, which is abundance, and cracking the whip with rod and staff. And there's the page or knight of wands, right? So this could be kids who are inspired or out of control. But the page, I think, was upright, but the knight of wands here is reversed. So they could be a bit of both, and justice regarding that, regarding the page, perhaps, of wands, right? The page of wands is right here in the underlying energy, so it's that one. So they worked really hard, and they got what they want. We're dealing with the king of wands, right? Here's the king with the pests, the kids, who are keeping them up at night, not sleeping. And then the Queen of Cups again, the 38 of the Mary Magdalene energy, and the twin bridges here that look kind of old, right? Kind of scary to cross to that spiritual union of the twin flames. Okay? The bottom of the deck is direction of the Two of Cups lovers, their true north. And look at that. Beneath that is a public meet, the wake-up call to nature and beauty and coming together. And this could be a wedding too, out in nature here. Again, two of Cups coming together in a true north situation. This is that page of wands, really being proud of themselves, even though they were a pain in the ass to the King of Wands, and allowing then the King of Wands to disconnect from that, because perhaps they culminated or graduated or now is truly inspired or now went from chaos to an organized understanding. And now the King of Wands can break to bridge with the Queen of Cups into union. Look how beautiful that is. Wow. Rise and be loved. It's 3:33. Breathe, you guys. It's 333, 369. Remember your food, your sleep, right? Your water, your joy, your nature. Remember to breathe and be good to yourself. Be happy. Be happy.